band in Trinidad.
Yo!
Yeah. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4.
God damn it!
Hey,
bad boy. You know we crazy. Hey!
Hi, this is Barney of the Burdie and Barney podcast. I invite you to join us now on part 2 of the interview with John Michael Williams, where we go on to explore a lot more in his playing career, his coaching career, and the impact that John Williams had on his national career. So join us now for part 2 of John Michael Williams, standout goalkeeper and former national captain. Hope you enjoy.
Just changed president. David John Williams is elected president. All right.
Where you going?
I'll take the phone and the page.
Hey.
I'm a keeper, right? Take a free kick, Barney. The goal OP.
Is it sound?
Yeah. Yeah, keeper. Set the wall there. Come on, set the wall, keeper.
Listen, I didn't see I put it to actually right now.
Set the wall.
Actually right.
Set the wall. So, right.
So when TTFA decided to bring Florentino Perez in, go on.
So,
hey, leave my club president alone. Leave my club president alone.
We're preparing to face Haiti, Copa America Centenario. A new president is in. We are on a high. This is right after we drew goalless with America. And we ended up in, a strike. Essentially, the players stopped training and everything else. And we go on to lose the game to Haiti 1-0. And we missed that chance to play in a very unique tournament. But talk to me about what happened then and how the players ended up going on strike.
John was captain.
I think I could have done better with our goal. I dream about that a lot. I think I could have done better with our goal. I think it was a cross come shot miscommunication, me and Carlisle. And that ball went in. I don't know how. Jesus. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever played a game against Haiti and won, you know.
Yeah, but that game in itself was a kind of odd sort of lackluster affair. But first, let's deal with the build up to the game. And
I don't want to go into the build up, Lasana. What I can say is the first bit of communication we had when the president came in, when we spoke about the match fees and what is owed to us. The first correspondence we had was that those match fees are too much and they're not paying that. I couldn't change, alter, or try to affect the thinking of the players at that point. I was stumped.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first bit of information. That match fees too much. That needs to change. Was that?
This was the fees for the USA game?
We had some outstanding match fees.
Right, yeah.
And obviously the president came in, David John Williams. Let me start by saying that he's partially responsible for a lot in my career because he was instrumental in me signing with W Connection in the beginning. I was meant to go to university. I think I had, 4 or 5 full scholarship offers after St. Anthony's. I sat in his office with my mom and Stuart Charles. We had some discussions. And eventually I was like, you know what, I'll choose this. So he was instrumental in my career. I learned a lot in W Connection. Let's start there. So I eternally grateful for my time in W Connection and for the experiences I gained there and for all the knowledge and information. Right. The first bit of information coming out of the TTFA from David John Williams, allegedly, let me say allegedly because things these days everything ended up in court.
Yeah.
Was that they're not willing to pay what we are being owed. That is too much money. They will have to renegotiate that. And as I say,
we already play.
Yes. And as I say, I could not. My younger players who were coming up and doing the stuff in the different leagues and going to a different level and going forward with the things that we would have taught them. You need to stand up, you need to do certain things, blah, blah, blah. We did our end of the bargain, they need to do the end, blah, blah, blah. I could not speak to them at that point. What could I tell them at that point? So when they decided, hey, well, we just saying on the game, we don't care about the biggest competition. We don't care about that. We played. This guy is competent to sabotage all the work we've put in so far. I don't think I was in a position to alter the changing of the group at that point. Neither did I want to. And it was depressing because some people can still perform even when their mind is not at ease. But most people can't do that. So somebody can't have his wife at home cheating on him and then come out and play a magical game on a Saturday night. But some people could do it, but few. You know what I mean? Some people can't go in their bank account and see they have $7 and then they have 2 back-to-back games, one home, one away, and they have to go and perform. Some people can't do that, and that statement from them, alleged statement from them, the timing of it was so wrong. And it affected a group of young men who were working for a period of time that I just outlaid. It affected them. So I don't think, you see, you have to, when you work with people, you have to have a connection with them. You have to develop a relationship. You have to get into their minds and see what they think and see how they feel and that kind of thing. It's for me as simple as when I go to training, sometimes I see one of the guys with their head down, I go, I have a conversation, I try to get a feel for them. So I know to say, well, hey, coach, let me don't push this one too hard today, or let me, you know what I mean? Let me hold back a little bit up. Because at the end of the day, if this is not functioning right, your body cannot function right. We're seeing during this pandemic where mental health is, and this is a stretch, but where mental health is so important, and simple things, simple words, simple statements, simple actions could have a massive effect on people. And the way we were playing up till that point, I knew we could qualify and beat whoever we were faced with easily. But it didn't happen. And apart from me saying, yeah, I think myself and Michi could have sorted that goal out a little bit better, the build-up to that it wasn't
ideal.
It wasn't ideal for the performance that we wanted to, or we knew we could give at that time. Disappointed.
All right, but for that period of career coming now, leading up to Stephen Hart's dismissal and so on, what was happening behind? Was anything happening behind the scenes that was acting up on the?
I started Roma drinking here, I started drinking Roma one time. Let me show you coconut water, right? Right.
Hey, no guerrilla marketing here. Our sponsors wouldn't like that.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
What you waited for? But yeah, tell us what was happening, if anything, that was impacting on the team performance. Because of course, people go to the stadium, they see the open whistle, and that's what they know, right? What else was going on in that period under Stephen Hart?
The federation, the new president of the federation and the board, whatever the board was at that time, whoever the board was at that time, I don't know. Their first act when they came in was to fire the women's head coach. Yes or no?
Yes. That's true.
Who was that coach, Asana?
Randy Waldrum.
All right. Right.
The second act was to fire Stephen Hart, if I'm not mistaken.
That was coming. He stayed for a couple months though. He was fired the next year. They came in late November 2015, and he was gone by the following October, November.
I mean, I'm happy. I'll tell you why, because I'm here now. Right, so I'm happy. I am extremely happy. That would have progressed into this, with him having the opportunity to coach in the city that he lives in. And obviously, we always had a good relationship. So, yes, I'm happy. So, thank you to the federation and the president at that time for making that decision. But what about the progress that he would have made with the national team? What about the thousands of Trinidad and Tobago loyal, the fans who enjoying going to games and expecting a good result, and were going to see the national team and being proud, and all that they would have developed with, where it got to a point they had a fan shop outside the stadium, and they were selling T-shirts, and the stadium was filled. What about those people? You have to understand, in any capacity, the football does not belong to any one individual or any group of people. The football doesn't belong to FIFA. The football doesn't belong to the 12 jokers or the 10 jokers who decided they wanted to start a European Super League. The football doesn't belong to them. The football belongs to the people. So I really don't want to go into the new president or the president at that time, but I'm sure, or I hope, that introspection was done, and if they do resurface, which probably they will, they come with a different thinking. The football doesn't belong.
Introspection, John. Sorry to break it to you.
What's that?
Not everybody capable of introspection. Sorry.
Wow. Well, I hope so. I pray that everybody is capable.
And even if everybody's capable, not everybody is willing to undergo introspection.
Well, they really want me to start a drink rum now, boy.
Well, we faced with it, and I ain't started a drink yet, so it's have hope. It's have hope.
What do you think in the first place? You spoke about how successful the team was doing. Was what was key to the success of that team under Stephen Hart?
A lot of things, a lot of things. Now, mind you, let me don't put too much strain on my former club president and TTFA president. But before we played the final in Jamaica, which was, I think,
the Caribbean Cup. Right.
Yeah.
14
this is Tim Key. I think this was Tim Key.
Yeah.
We almost strike before that final as well,
I remember, yes.
Same money issues and all that nonsense.
And lost on penalties.
And lost on penalties, yes.
Yeah.
So there were situations in the past where we had issues. The same or some of the same situations resurfaced under the then president, but it was the nature in which he dealt with people that had a negative effect on individuals and the team as a whole. So we could have had discussions with Tim Key and go back and forth with the board or whoever, and found decent outcomes. But it seemed like every time we had to talk to David John Williams or Johan Salazar or the name was, I can't remember the other one.
Ewan Davis.
Oh my days, Ewan Davis. It seemed like a lot of times it was it was almost like a fight every time, you know? And again, the way, I think, to be fair, Joanne was amazing. I particularly like the way she dealt with us. Some of the other guys, not so much. But to deal with, if you've ever dealt with David or you've ever dealt with Ewing,
I think he may have.
yeah, they have a different way they interact, and that could have led to unhealthy relationships, you know. But I still think if you look at some of the things that they tried to achieve, it made sense. It made sense from a business standpoint. If they were able to achieve it or not, I am not sure. Yeah. But some of the things they tried to achieve, it made sense from a business standpoint.
Financially, we didn't improve. I think we did the opposite of improving financially.
I do have a degree in economics. I'm not sure what we did financially. Neither does myself or anybody has the financial statements that they've been asking for. I don't know. But I know
math is not a strong point, but I know we went
understatement.
But I know we went from about 80 million in debt to about, I think last count was about 90 million. So I don't think it worked out well, you know.
What I can say is, if I had 90 million, I would definitely put it into the federation, because I think there are a lot of young people suffering right now because the federation, regardless of who they bring in, they're not able to sort themselves out. I don't know the job the Haddad and they are doing. I don't know, but if we able to really, as a country, get football back onto a positive track, that would help so much young people in the country, male and female, people who are looking for hope, people looking for a way out, people who are looking to develop themselves and to take themselves and their life and their family to a different level. We are not doing them justice right now.
Not to move the conversation to the present, because we still want to hear about that period. But just, I see how you try to dance out it and I'll carry in your back. So don't try that. But just to ease your mind, we don't know what Haddad doing either. We don't know the job what they're doing. Don't worry. It's not you alone. It's not you alone. But let's go back to 2015 now.
Yeah.
Oh wow. We played a final, Central FC played a final or semi-final against Derby Connection. In 2015, the night of the election.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
We went down to penalty kicks. I didn't save a penalty, Lasana.
Yeah.
Lasana, I don't think that keeper in the country made more penalty kick saves than me. Honestly, I don't think so. That was my bread and butter. That was my thing. I didn't save a penalty kick that night. When we got the news, I think it was around halftime. There's a new president of the TTFA. I remember seeing Leonson Lewis, and I was like, Leo, a decent enough friend of mine. It's like, Leo, what will happen now? He's like, don't worry, things will be good. I was like, Leo, I am worried.
Leo is one of my friends from down south.
Jesus Christ. Well, I don't know. I was like, Leo, I am worried. He's like, no, don't worry, things will be good. But I still waiting to see Leo when I go home. I want to see him. I want to see him.
You gotta go on the golf course to see him, though. You gotta go on the golf course to find him.
Nah, I don't know. I know David John Williams. I know he have good intentions. I know he's good at heart, I'm telling you. But I don't know what, like, to me, it was like a blip. Like, what? Some of the things I saw, I was like, what? Every time, what? But yeah, that's enough of 2015 at that time. Let me move on.
Well, as you mentioned, Connection Central. Now, of course, he had a traumatic split as well from W Connection.
Not traumatic.
And I think Clyde Leon was involved too, right?
Clyde Leon was my best friend. my roommate for years at W Connection. He wasn't directly involved. Wasn't directly involved as I spoke earlier on. I think the only time I disrespected or did something disrespectful to our coach or coaching staff was that period at Renesi Moyes. So everybody else entitled to think or to believe or to understand that situation how they want to. What I can say though is that up till this day, today is the 2nd of October.
Yeah, still.
Depends on where you are.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The only person that came on the TV, on the news, or put a statement out about that situation and that my departure, was Ulja. The person who was directly involved, which was Stuart Charles Forever, he never said a word, nothing. So that in itself is an indication of something. I don't know. Anybody could choose to. And up to this day, I don't interact with Ulja, honestly, because as a man, nah. To go on the TV and say I was being insubordinate, disrespectful, what?
Yeah. Well, I could fill in, Barney, because I remember doing a story on that, right? So
to be honest, I don't know anything about the incident. I kind of
there was a dressing room thing going on, and Stuart Charles, and I interviewed Stuart Charles as well, I believe. He said he was running into his players, just having some verbals, whatever it is, right? And let's say
he's cussing them up. Continue.
All right, he was cussing them up.
Right.
John intervened, or essentially, as I recall, told him that there was a rule against the language he was using, essentially. I believe that.
All right, let me start over. Let me start over.
Boy, that was a great journalistic ploy, Lasana, to pull John out. That's a great ploy.
I had an ankle injury, so I sat at the Golden Stadium. Clyde Leon was the captain in my place because I was injured. And Battery's real name is Akeem Benjamin. Tall central defender, one of the most talented central defenders.
Ball-head guy. I always thought he should have made some more. He should have had national cap. So
Battery needs some hard slap in his face, honestly. Because if I pick in two central defenders, sorry, Cyrus, if I pick in two central defenders, I'm going to run for Abubakar and Akeem Benjamin. And I played with a lot of them, right? That's what I'm picking. If I pick in two central defenders from Trinidad to play with. Extremely talented footballer, but a lot going on between here that I don't understand. Anyways, gone to the training session at the Golden Stadium, inside field. Battery having a laugh in the training session, doing nonsense, miscontrolling, trying to dribble out the back, losing the ball, conceding goals. Clyde went off on him, hey, you need to fucking get it right, blah, 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 blah. Stuart just stops the training session. Battery, I don't need you to, Clyde, I don't need you to talk to my players like that. Talk to them better than that. You don't need to curse and shout at them. I am in surprise. I say not on this side, and I'm in surprise because back 2010 or 2011 or whatever, that is what we know. You know what I mean? Okay, no problem. That's the head coach. That is what he wants. That is okay, right? If that's what the head coach wants, that's okay. The next day we play Army Defense Force. I think we lost 5-1 or 5-2. Battery, 1 own goal, 2 mistakes in the back, 3 goals conceded because of him. I think that was the biggest result, the biggest connection ever lost that game, probably in the history of the club. I'm not sure. 5-2. Defense Force beat us in the Crawford Stadium. Next day, I have a video section. You're going off on everybody. You get around to Battery. You're going up. You're the effing thing. And I go effing running to all you. And I go this. And I go that. And all the can be effing going on. So I am here now sitting thinking, 2 days ago, when Clyde rightfully tried to address a situation that was happening in training, while you use obscene language, you said that is not the way you want your players to speak to each other. So is it now okay for you as the coach to speak to us like that when you upset? Anyways, so he talking, he don't talk. I put up my hand. I was like, Coach, can I say something, please? He's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. I was like, Coach, when battery was going off when Clyde was going off at battery, you stopped it because they told him you didn't want. That is literally all I said. Up to that, I stopped. He started going off because he knew exactly what I was going to say. Dang, I don't hear from you. And you feel you at this, and I don't hear from that. Then I said, Coach, hold on. Oh, I don't think you should be speaking to me like that if you're asking us as players not to speak to each other like that. Well, go from here if you want to go. You feel use what? Well, go from here. Go from here if you're here. I said, okay, Coach. Well, I will leave. And I walk out the room. No slam door, no nothing. I get up, I pick my bag up, put it on my back, and I walk out the room, I close the door. When I walked out the room, the president is outside there on the phone, David John Williams. Prezi, what's going on? Yeah. I explained the situation to him. He's like, no, don't worry, man. Let me go sort that out. So I went. He went all the way to, after they came out of the room, he went all the way to talk to Stuart Charles. I stood at the side, I sang, training done. I went home. The next day, I get a phone call from the president. You're no longer allowed to come to the training session until you have a disciplinary committee meeting with the coach and the disciplinary committee. I was like, what?
So the coach was committee too?
Yeah, hold on. I was like, okay, let's arrange the meeting. I was like, hold on, arrange the meeting. Now, one thing I remember, Sana, when I was coming up, ask anybody. When training done, we don't set a cell phone. I talking to David Naked. I talking to Anna Steve. I talking to Brent Sancho. I talking to everybody and getting all kind of knowledge and information. I just want to know football law, what you could do, what you can't do, what you shouldn't do, what you might do, what's the rules. I want to know everything. So I educated myself because I have people around I could get information from. So 2, 3 days, 4, 5 days pass. I get a call from, I forget his name, Kirk Diaz, I think. He's like, yeah, I will meet you. So we need to talk. So I went in, we talk. He's like, well, you'll have to pay a fine for walking out the meeting, and they're going to terminate your contract. I said, terminate my contract?
They paying the fine before you get fired too?
No, hold on. So I was like, what? so I was like, okay. Dexter Skeen, CEO of the Pro League, calls my phone. What's the situation? Do you want connection? So I explained it to him. He's like, hey, W Connection will pay you all your money till the end of your contract. Make sure and show up every day to the training session. And if they tell you you're not welcome, stay for the duration of the session and leave. Because it is illegal to stop somebody from training. If you have a dispute with them, you still have to facilitate that training because that's part of their livelihood, the training and taking care of the body. So they have to make sure and have somebody there to oversee the training and make sure they have a facility for you to train. If they don't want you there, then they have to leave. You didn't know that, now you know. Google it. So me now I smiling because why? Connection have bonus money for me too. But what I used to do back in the day, I'm not a big computer expert. I used to write everything down. Game, time of game, minute somebody score, how long, everything I used to write down. My bonus, if I get a clean sheet bonus, my playing bonus, I used to write everything down. So Dexter Skeen said also, he's like, don't worry when your contract expires, because my contract was expiring, I think around the end of March. He's like, I will make sure and facilitate that transfer for you so you will be able to get onto a team to play in the league. So that is how I ended up going to Rangers for the 3 months before the Gold Cup.
Yeah.
So that was 2013. So I ended up going to Rangers for the 3 months.
Because, by the way, Barney, connection contract used to end before the season done,
yes,
but after the transfer window closed.
Yes.
If you understand the maths, but go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So boom now. So said so done. I get all my money, all my bonus money, everything. I was happy, I was laughing, and went to Rangers. steady 3 months. And again, another learning experience for me. And ended up going to the Gold Cup and doing well. And then the rest was, well, joined Central FC after that and that kind of thing. So I was happy with it. But for me, and the best thing happened to my career was two things. Sorry. That split with Connection, because I would have stayed there and I would have stagnated. That's what I would have done. I got into a place where I was so comfortable, where, in my opinion, the quality, the level of the club was on the down. Well, clearly you could see that with the last string of whatever that is. And I would have stagnated. And it hurt me to know, even Clyde, who was my best friend, one of my best friends, that he was somebody potentially that could have been to a different level, but stayed there for that long and ended up still being in that kind of place where he wasn't able to flourish. My opinion again. And I was glad that I didn't get drawn into that. So one of the best things for me was leaving that club, you know? So I was able to get back that fire underneath and say, hey, you can't be comfortable. You have the ability to play outside. You should, you know, you should push for better things instead of just staying in that club and just stagnating, in my opinion. So I was happy that it happened the way it happened. I got to finally work with Terry Frederick, who for me, in terms of Trinidad and Tobago football, there were two people who was extremely successful. Terry Frederick, Stuart Charles Favre. I got an opportunity to play for them both and to learn from them both. Regardless of what, Terry was able to develop loads of players in Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of young people came from Willis Plaza, who he found playing football wherever, to Primus. That was Terry Frederick. And I got to get an insight into the way he worked, the way he operated, the way he moved, his training techniques, all of that. So I got to learn from both of them, which I was extremely grateful for at the end of the day. And that's why I continue to say, I think God shaped my life, my path in a certain way that I'm extremely grateful and happy for.
Right. Now, of course, you going across the Central, things get real spicy. We had the Cuba Classico, right? All kind of dramas, but you had 1,200 people and so on in the stands. That was probably the last period when the Pro League were bringing people out. I mean, all the news stations that come out to see Connection play Central, right? In terms of Fennec, right, who has been successful, like I said, we see at CONCACAF level, he hasn't been at club level, and then his stint with the national team didn't go well either, right? What you would say are his pluses, and you could figure out why he has failed when asked to step up?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't want to go into it too much, but Freddie completely understands the thinking of some of the, or most of the young people in Trinidad and Tobago. So he able to motivate them and to get them going in that regard, to get them fit, to get them strong, to get them firing, to get them aggressive, to develop passion or a certain level up, you know? I really like that about him. I like that about him. I remember one time W Connection had they had two goalposts on the training ground in Attobolden, and we used to share the ground. And they locked these small goalposts so that we wouldn't be able to use it. And I remember him and Marvin Oliver. Marv, sorry for telling the story. Going to the bar. Sorry for telling the story. I always promise I'll never tell this story. They went to the bar and they cut the lock. To get something to cut the lock. And they knew. I was like, yo, Terry, I was like, Marv, they're going to say it's me. They're going to think it's me. So said so that the game, John cut the lock. And them fellas and them, they don't care. We don't care about them, man. And Terry is laughing because he's saying, this is what brings people to the stands, the excitement and the drama and all of that. And I remember Stuart Charles was fuming and Terry was just laughing because it wasn't something malicious or something spiteful. It was just part of the package, part of the entertainment, you know? I like that about Terry. In terms of internationally, I can't say because I wasn't able to be that close with him or when he was working at that level.
It's interesting too, Chan, seeing the Pro League, because you were there for probably the best of the Pro League.
Yes.
Then they were there for the decline. And I think a lot of things went wrong at your club too, Central, that became the first team ever to win 3 in a row. You know, so that decline you saw in the Pro League and you know, your own exit at Central eventually.
Oh well, yeah, it did deteriorate really quickly. There were a lot of issues. I think SIS pulling out at some point because I think SIS was one of our main sponsors. They pulled out. I think Bankers Insurance was another one of our major sponsors. They pulled out as well. To run a professional team in Trinidad and Tobago is difficult. It is. But I think I know there's still a lot of unresolved issues. One of them topping the list is payment. I'm one of the players still being paid. I have all my documentation at home. Still being owed.
Watch this podcast then.
Was that sorry?
I hope Brent Sancho watch this podcast then. I will tag him. Go ahead.
Doesn't matter if he watches it or not. You don't think he knows he owes people?
Yeah, them fellas just sleep song. Whatever tea them fellas using at night, I would like to get a cup, but go ahead.
Or the club that he was the president of or is the president of and no keeper.
Yeah.
But is it something that is rampant in the country? Mismanagement, perhaps. Is it something that is evident in football in the country? Yes. Is it something that the public takes seriously enough? No. A lot of questions.
What's the impact of it? You say the public doesn't take it seriously enough, right? Tell us what the impact of that mismanagement is to the sport and to the players, to the athletes.
Well, I guess what's happening now, we don't have a league. We don't have people interested in investing in a league. We have a lot of players who not even interested in playing professionally anymore because it's not financially, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense now, especially now where, you know, we have to kind of tighten the belt and the COVID and all of this. Whatever you do during the days that occupies your time, you have to be paid for it. Football is not a 2-hour job. Football is a 24-hour job. Being a professional footballer or professional anything, a professional athlete is a 24-hour job, and you have to be paid. And you can't be paid with pennies and expect to give a performance of a king. It's not possible. You know, you have nutrition, you have strength and conditioning, you have mental health and support. These things and these professionals that supply these services, they have to be paid as well. You know, so it is difficult. It is difficult, but as I said, is mismanagement evident in football in the country? Yes, and it is affecting everybody, more so the young people who want to make a career out of football, the people who seriously want to spend their life trying to get to the heights of the Lionel Messis and the Mbappes and the Ronaldos. We have the potential because we produce players like Dwight Yoxton, John, Russell After. We produce players that have played at the highest level, but now it's a little more difficult because the stage where they're supposed to be getting their development that Barney says his friends from South doesn't think is necessary. That period is spent doing what? Absolutely nothing.
Building a home of football.
Wow. Whoa.
That's what it is.
Anyways, the demolition or the mismanagement of funds in the country, or the mismanagement of funds in the country and the deterioration of the sport in the country is not solely because of one person or a group of individuals. It is everybody. I take responsibility for it as well. I have conversations with Kenwin Jones often, one of my best friends. We have to find a way to try to get football on the right track. But it's difficult now with the COVID, and obviously everybody trying to find their way, blah, blah, blah. I trying to find my way, he trying to find his way. Somebody like Klein Leon again. Anyways, who would have been instrumental in helping us achieve that? Denzel to your ball. We have to find ways. So I'm not going to sit here and say the president who took office in 2015 is his responsibility or his fault alone. No, it's everybody's responsibility. It's everybody's fault. Because evil could only prevail when good men sit and do nothing. So we have to find ways, even within the busy lives and schedules and whatever else, we have to find ways to help to get this sport back to a level that young players who were the ages that we were when we were younger could go through the sport and make something out of themselves. So it's not just the responsibility of them alone, it's not just their fault, but we all have to find a way to try at least to get this better, because the way it's going right now, no, we can't sit back and continue to say it's his fault and it's his fault. No, it's my fault. I was always a person like that. I will always be a person like that. I am responsible, or partly. So I have to do something to try to help turn the wheel and to get it back going in the other direction. And I think if everybody who is seriously involved and concerned about the sport in the country does something, then that's progress. That will help. But if everybody keeps sitting back and saying, it's him, he did this wrong, and they shouldn't have did this, and he shouldn't have done that, then we can't go forward.
But John, here was my pushback with that, right? And not so much a pushback, because I agree with what you're saying there. Here was the problem with that, what I have personally encountered and seen. So I'm in total agreement with you. We have to fix it. We partially responsible for it, right? But we not coming together to fix it. Every single man feels that I know is the answer, and I'm going to fix it for myself. So, for example, the coaches, and I will say this, not to cause any argument or strife with players or whatever. The coaches are so we had a situation, and we form a coaches association to try to push things back in a positive direction, right? Mm-hmm. And while doing so, we said, you know what? We are the coaches, but it's the players. Everybody relies on the players for this game. Mm-hmm. The players need to have their association going too. So we try to reach out to them to get them to come along with us. We walking on a path that you all have to walk on to form your association. We climbing over certain hurdles. We want to help all you avoid them hurdles the same way how, as you said earlier on in the conversation, elders know, experience things in lives that they try to, right? And frankly, the response was, nah, we got here. We know how to do it by ourselves. And look where we are. So what I'm saying is everybody wants to operate in a silo instead of people coming together. And the Players Association, they have the best interest of the game at heart too, you know, those guys. They do. But what I'm saying is we need to come together. We, the people who really care about the football, the different groups, need to come together and work in the same direction. And I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm saying that we want to be, the different groups want to be smarter than, seen as smarter than the other one. And yes, we will save it whilst it's still going down.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like that. Well, it's difficult to get everybody on the same page. Difficult, trust me. I used to try to do it with a football team. And it's difficult. It's difficult. It's possible, but it's difficult. But we still have to keep trying. We have to. We have to, because I will never stop, because football has given me. I tell people this in Canada, you know, today don't believe me. I never work a day in my life. I telling them I need a job. I just want a job just for like 2-3 days, just to see what a job feels like. No, I'm being honest, just to see.
No, I know what you mean.
Going to work to 8 o'clock, coming home at 4 Friday night. I have on my company shirt. I go on to take some drinks Friday after work. Like, I want to experience that because I never do that in my life. I have never worked for any other job.
It's your passion.
And I love it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I will never stop because I want young people in Trinidad and Tobago to get the opportunities I got, to get to see the world the way I got to see it, to get to see different experiences, to get to be able to supply for their family and for their friends. I want that for them, and I know a lot of people, they want that for themselves through football, but we failing them right now, you know? So I wouldn't keep trying. Anybody call me about football. Anybody in Trinidad and Tobago call me about football. Anybody. I always did to help. Hey, okay, you need this help? All right, let me do this, let me do that. Once it makes sense, you know? And everybody have to keep trying. We have to, because right now, as I say, we feel in the youths. We really feel in them.
Yeah. All right, enough of that come by moment. Let's take him back over the grill.
John, you were 33 years old when you played last game for Trinidad. That's pretty young for a goalkeeper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about that period. You felt you had more to give. What happened in that campaign? And of course, that was under Dennis Lawrence. Your last game would have been under Honduras, against Honduras, sorry.
So today, because of the numbers in the CPL, we usually we could sign more than 2 goalkeepers, but the third one has to be a development, blah, blah, blah. We only have 2 goalkeepers right now. Today, I just jumped in a little small goal scrimmage, right? Small-sided game. My goalkeeper was asking me, he's like, why did you retire today? I didn't have an answer for him. I didn't. Again, the missus asked me the other day, she said, somebody asked me on Friday, what it is? On last Friday. Yeah. Why John retired from football? She's like, I couldn't answer them. I was just tired. I was tired of the nonsense. I was really tired. We talk about mental health a lot now because of COVID. But mental health has been an issue long before COVID. It will be an issue long after COVID. And I got to a point where I couldn't pour into anybody else's cup because my cup was empty. You know, I was tired. I was tired. It was nonsense after nonsense after nonsense. It was nonsense. One of the first questions, or one of the first conversations myself and Dennis Lawrence had was to change the match fee structure, or he suggested after conversations with his president, whoever his president was at the TTFA at that time. That's for you all to decide.
Apollinaris, I think was his name. Go ahead. That's his middle name.
That the match fee structure for the national team should go back to what it was back in the day, which is where the senior guys would get more money, and the guys with less caps, senior in terms of caps for the national team, and the guys with less money would get less. No, that worked back in the day. But we, coming from where we came from 2012, that wasn't what we wanted. When Levi Garcia, when I was injured, I did my shoulder surgery, 2016, yeah. 2016? Yeah, 2016. Can't remember. Anyway, Levi Garcia, 17, 18 years old. Debut for Trinidad and Tobago. What happened, Lasana? Tell me.
Scored twice against St. Vincent away to win a crucial qualifier.
3-2.
Yeah.
Is Levi Garcia's time more or less valuable to any of them other players who had 50 and 60 caps on their field?
Not on that day.
Not on any day.
Not on any day. Not on any
Especially
day.
that one. Not on any
Not on any day. Because he does the same training sessions with us. He makes the same sacrifices. He leaves his home, his country, his club to come and represent his national team. And that's the way we saw it. If you're one of us, everybody from the people on the bench who can't make it on the field, but in the training sessions, they compete with us and they make us better. They push us to maintain and to push a certain level to go and represent the national team. Everybody is paid equally. But this is just one of the conversations, or one of the first conversations I would have had with Dennis Lawrence. It was almost like some of the things that was coming out, I couldn't understand. I could not understand for the life of me what was he thinking behind it. And we in Trinidad, we are our own downfall, you know, because the way we are as a people sometimes, boy, you know, and as I say, for me, I was just tired of the nonsense, every single time I want to focus on trying to win something for the country, I couldn't achieve it because it was some nonsense. And for me, I was at a point where I was like, nah, it's not making sense. It wasn't making sense. And as I say, my cup was empty. Mentally, I was done. In saying that though, it wasn't my decision to stop playing me or to stop selecting me. You know, the selectors and the head coach at that time had their idea or their ideas. To have somebody who would have had such a strong relationship with all the players, even stronger than the one that the head coach and the coaching staff had at that time. If you wanted the team to go in that direction with you, and you had one or two or three players who didn't want to go in that direction, then the easiest thing to do is to get rid of that and then carry the team where you wanted them to go. Now, we could all see where the head coach at that time took the team. Like, we could see.
Yeah.
So that's another blessing for me. I didn't get dragged into that. Because that is not what I was for myself as a player. That's not what I wanted for the national team. I think we finally got a win against who it was in Trinidad and Tobago, 10 or
Angola.
Nonsense, Lasana.
Yeah.
That is nonsense. The worst team in the world. Let's play them because we can't win. So let's just play them and get it win. But again, I was drained mentally. I was drained. I was done. But I still didn't give up on the national team. I still wanted to represent the country. I still asked the question often, why I'm not being selected. I didn't get the answer at all. I didn't get the courtesy of returning phone calls. I got a phone call like 6 months after not being in the team to say, we consider taking it to the Gold Cup, which was the 2018 Gold Cup.
2019?
Where we drew Guyana. We drew with Guyana.
2019.
2019.
Yeah, when they shot. So who wasn't returning the call?
Huh?
Who didn't return the call?
That's not important. But when I did finally get a phone call, Lasana, you can't take me up, you can't take me up at all.
I blame that team 2001 Trinidad and Tobago, but go ahead now.
I got the call to ask me if I was interested. From the phone call I did get was from a one Richard Piper.
Yeah.
Interested in coming back to the team. I knew I wasn't going to come at all. But I told them yes, put me in the provisional roster. Because I thought I would have changed my mind, which I knew I wasn't going to, which was probably the wrong thing. I should have just told them from up front. But the passion and the desire I had to represent the national team was still burning in me. But that really didn't have any intention of coming back. Because again, the direction the team was going in and the direction the team was being taken in, I didn't want to be a part of that. I used to get several phone calls from players, several. Hey, help us match free. Hey, help us, we need this. Hey, help us, we need that. Hey, help us, and I used to tell them, that's no longer my issue. And it may have sounded like I turned my back on them, but I didn't. I actually just chose myself instead of the national team for once, because I wasn't in a position to help them mentally, you know? And it was difficult, but I still can represent the country right now. Look, I'm being so serious. I still can, because I take care of myself. I train with the group sometimes, but I really enjoyed my time. Even here, when my goalkeeper asked me, he's like, "Will you retire for? Why?" I was like, "I had my time. Now it's for me to help you all have your time. Make sure you all enjoy it," because I enjoy my time, Lasana. I really enjoy my time. It was difficult, but certain moments, 2-2 against El Salvador, 2013, corner coming in the box, and I look into Carlos and Kenwin, and I was seeing in young baby Joven eyes, I seeing he ready. We're going to win this game, or we're going to keep this result. Things like that I always keep with me, and I remember. And those things just make me happy. I'm good with that. Just the experiences of connecting with people on that level, everybody on the same head, trying to get the same result. That was good enough for me. That was good enough for me. And I want other people to experience that. Can I compete in the national team right now? Yes, 100%. Can I push for a selection or a starting position? 100%. Am I interested? No. I'm not. Did I retire too early? This is Zlatan till 40 today. Phone is 42. Can I compete at the age 36, 37 this month? Oh yes, 100%. Do I want to? No. I had a really good time. And I enjoyed it. I wish I had gotten to 100 caps. I probably could have by an injury and some selections, but I had a fun time. I enjoyed it. I represent. Nobody could say that I never gave my all with the national team every time I stepped on the pitch. And I good with that. I want that for other people. Young Denzel Smith, I see him. Amazing young talent. I want that for him. I want that for Concept. I want that for Marvel. I want them to enjoy it. I want them to enjoy it. You know, the football doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to anybody. We just passing through it. And I had a really good time. I have the opportunity now where I get to gain more experience and to coach, which is something I always wanted to do, be a goalkeeping coach, and I get with that.
John, we were in Buenos Aires, June 2014, on the team list. They had Messi, Di Maria, Aguero started.
Lavezzi,
right. Lavezzi start. Yeah. Talk to them about that whole experience. And well, of course, we got a Aguero, which caused a little bit of a stir before the game with the bowing to the master. How you all took that in the squad actually, John?
I didn't see it.
About it.
I didn't see it. Some of the guys spoke about it. So, it's all about individuals, you know. I respect people, boy. And if that's what Atula thought he decided, or thought that's what he should do, I don't know the influence that Lionel Messi would have had on his life and his career, you know? So the same Lionel Messi you see every day and I see every day or every time he plays, we could have different opinions and it could have affected us differently. Now, for me, if that was Ronaldinho, I might have do the same thing. I might have do the same thing. If I was in a game and being lined up against Brazil.
No. Let the man speak. He's making sense. Go ahead. Go ahead, John. Go ahead, John. John, don't be pressured. John, don't be pressured. You talk, brother.
I wouldn't know, but I would have probably embraced him a little tighter or shaky him a little bit longer because For me, there's no footballer that ever touched the ball better than Ronaldo. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
for Atula, maybe that is what he feels when he sees Lionel Messi, and I can't fault him for doing that. So it wasn't neither here nor there for me. I didn't see it. And when the guy spoke about it, I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm not interested in that. We just lost that game 3-0. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
You know how difficult it would be to injure one of those players on their last training game
to the World Cup
before they went to the World Cup. Somehow I think, if I remember correctly, that sentiment was shared in the dressing room. Let me say that, because we were playing for nothing. We were just playing for a friendly game, but for them it was their last preparation game for the World Cup. So the people that had to be extremely cautious was us.
Or they eased them up a little bit.
No, that's not what we did. We just had to be cautious. We would have lost if we wasn't easing them up or not. That didn't make a difference. Also, one thing I remember distinctly, and this is why I love my Trinidad people so much. I love Trinidad, although I talk bad about Ole a little bit just now. I say, Ole, let's get on stupid sometimes. But just before kickoff, just after the anthem, shake hands. I don't know which rhythm section that was. It was Lavantil rhythm section or Saparia. One of them either traveled, I think, with us on the plane, and they had a traveling party or whatever else. Just before the game kicked off, there was a silence, and within the 20 or the 30,000 people, the small Trinidad contingent and the rhythm section rung out. And it was quiet for the first 10 minutes of the game. All they could hear was the rhythm section. And you could tell that everybody in the stands, the Argentines, were just looking at that rhythm section and in complete shock. The sound quality, the rhythm, the energy, the vibe. Oh my days. Again, and that's what I said to you all just now. I really enjoyed my time. I hardly ever or never really ever hear the crowd or the people. I never hear it. That goes silent to me. So it's almost like white noise. I don't hear it. But I remember hearing that rhythm section and the crowd from how much ever 1,000, 20 or 30,000 making noise and screaming to you could hear a pin drop. It was so good that I remember Sean was telling us, and Fuentes was telling us after the game, they went out into the street and the fans bombarded them. Like they couldn't do anything but play music for them, and all the Argentine fans were out in the street, and it was like a big block party for them. So I'm not a fan of Messi. Sorry, whoever the Barca fans and the Argentine fans. I'm not a fan of Messi. He is exceptional. Him and Ronaldo for doing that for so long. Ronaldo. For doing what they have done for such an extended period of time.
I thought you liked football, yes, but go ahead.
They are great. I just personally prefer Ronaldinho. That's just me. Because the way he made me feel when I saw him play was, I felt like I could do anything. But yeah, so the game itself for me, they were obviously, but they were far superior than us. Like you could see they knew their plays 3 or 4 passes in advance. You know, they will control, they dictate the pace of the game, blah blah blah. When I play, I don't see, and that's something I developed. I don't see Messi or Lavezzi or Ronaldo. I see left footer, right footer, left footer, right footer. Just for the simple fact that you want to know when players get into certain positions according to where the ball is in front of them, if they're able to shoot or if they will be willing to shoot or not. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it. Left footer, right footer, left footer, right footer, right footer, right footer, right footer, left footer. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it. So I don't really see, I didn't really notice Messi for the game in terms of, hey, that is Lionel Messi I'm playing against. I kind of just saw left footer. Di Maria left footer, Lavezzi right footer, Palacio right footer. That's how I saw it. You know, it was a good experience after the game when we really sat down. I think that game was on Kalim's birthday as well. Was it? Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because I think so. I think it was that day or the day after. Kalim played that game as well too. So it had to be on his birthday or the day after his birthday or the day before his birthday or something like that. But I remember myself, him, Kenwin, who else was there? Was Rodan for there? Bato.
Johansson played.
So we sat down after the game and we really had a nice discussion when we was having dinner and we talked about it. Was nice. It was a really good experience. For some more than others. For me, it was just Argentina. For some, it was, hey, that was Messi. I'm not a fan, so I wasn't really. I am sorry, Barcelona fans. I'm sorry. But
football fans, but go ahead.
But yeah, football fans are sorry, but I was very grateful for the opportunity to play against him, to say that in 90 minutes he didn't score, although he hit the post. He didn't score, but I could also say that he never changed. He never came out of first game. Never. And then Johansi had a clearance off the line, which on any other day would have been a goal for him in any case. So I'm just really grateful for that experience. It was good. It was really good.
Yeah. Why aren't there Trinidad players in the Jamaican league? If Jamaica's league has now taken a spot in the professional leagues in the Caribbean, why aren't we using that or trying to use that as a stepping stone?
They've been asking right now. So right now they've been asking. I know a couple of agents from Jamaica who've been asking for players from Trinidad to come across. I don't know what the problem is and why the players not taking the risk, but I think the risk, the reward is worth the risk right now because a lot of players from the Jamaican Premier League are going on to the USL and to the Canadian Premier League, for example. We just took a player last year from the Jamaican Premier League to come and sign with us, Wanderers. Mm-hmm. So it is a stepping stone. I don't know if the players from Trinidad are not interested or the money is not good enough. I don't know what it is, but a lot
we have no, as you pointed out, we have no football for the last year, going on 2 years. I would think that would be some place that that players would want to look if they want to step up the game.
If I wasn't retired and I was still playing and there was no league in Trinidad, do you think I probably would have gone to Jamaica?
Of course.
100%. I would have gone to Jamaica. Yes. And this is the thing, because sometimes too much information. There are people who probably telling these youngsters, hey, don't go to Jamaica, that's stupid league. Don't go there, that's wasting of time. Okay, so what are you doing in Trinidad?
Well, I know a lot of those guys go into like Portugal and
5th division.
Yeah, the level isn't a good level though. But you know, they're bigger name countries, but they're not really playing at a competitive.
When they go to these countries, Lasana, I hope they're thinking about 6 months or 1 year, I need to be a step above. 6 months or 1 year, a step above. If they're thinking like that, then progression will take place, you know. Mm. But if they're not thinking like that, then going to them leagues probably don't make sense. Mm. You know, because again, I'll continue to use Julia Garcia. He was just in India. I cannot tell you a team name with Churchill Brothers, maybe, because I think Plaza used to play with them at some point.
Yeah.
And that's it for me. I don't know any team. But he used that to help him to progress. Mm. So these youngsters have to use these places they go into as a stepping stone and not as their final destination. Yes, I get here. I need to show them I'm better than this level for somebody to come in for me. You know? Mm. And yeah. If they approach it like that, maybe they'll be a little bit more successful.
Mm. And again, to me, it is not that could be a difficult decision to make if you have the world normal as it is and all other leagues going on and the league going on back home and it's vibrant and everything. But it is a simple choice now because you have no football home at all. So anywhere you go to play now, basically, is going to be better than sitting down home and your talents, that window, that your sporting life is a very short window in your real life, in your entire life, and that just passing by. It's best you go somewhere and do something.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Although I will advise parents and players still do a little bit of Google research.
Of course. Especially, I'm not so much talking about the younger ones, you know. When I'm speaking here, I'm speaking specifically about the who would have been playing in the pro league now as adults. They're moving on. The younger ones, yes, it is important, but it is even more important that due diligence is done and that you go into an established club. You're going to with a club with a certain reputation with youth development and that sort of thing. You're not just because a man say, well, we could take you France. France is a big country.
Yes.
Not everywhere interested in football. You understand? We taking you France and you say no in a hotel doing that. No, do your due diligence. But I was more talking about those boys 24, 25, already established professionals or should be professionals and doing nothing right now.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think if you look for it, if you search for it and you really want it, you see in some of these youngsters, they go in and finding it and they progressing, and you have to want it, because not only in Trinidad or Jamaica that they have youngsters who go in out there and look for it. You know, you have Nigerians, you have Senegalese, you have Congolese, you have Japanese, you have Brazilians, you have young players from all over the world going and looking for a destination and somewhere to play and to progress. So you have to really want it, you have to really push hard to get it, you know?
Yeah.
So
I was surprised to see a Gambian, a 19-year-old from Gambia playing in this league that I am out here, playing with the team that in first place.
Okay.
Young, I talked to him after the last game. Young boy, he out here and same thing, chasing his dream.
Looking big.
Taking that step.
Yeah. Hi, John. Well, in Barney, any closing question?
Boy, we touch everything with John, boy. No, the main thing I want.
Dance.
The main thing, yeah. Well, I'm gonna make him dance some more, because the main thing I want to know about. I want to know about. Look, he's starting to laugh, because you know what it is I'm gonna ask.
I don't know what it is actually.
Yeah, well, Stephen Hart lost his job based upon him endangering your career and your health. And
that's not true.
I know.
Okay.
I know. Listen, but this was the story that was developed and put out there, right? I want to hear your take on the incident that went on, because to me, as a man sitting on outside who was following that team, because that team brought me back as a fan to Trinidad and Tobago football, because I had been away.
Where did you go? Brought you back where?
No. After 1990, brother, when I watched, not 90, Lasana, when was the strike? It's somewhere around that period where players were banned for requesting more than water in training and that kind of thing, and defense force players and police players and all of that were brought to play.
Right, that'll be under Naja.
Right. You see that period?
Yeah.
I had already get fed up already, and that was the last show with me. So from then, I stayed away from football, following football, everything for about 18 years or something. So trust me. So that team bring me back to being a fan, to actually go into a game, right? Actually going to the stadium and watching a game. And then this madness took place. And for me, as a fan sitting on outside, not knowing everything, but it looked like the technical staff worked against Stephen Hart to get him out based on orders coming from somebody else. I wasn't there, I don't know. I pieced things together from what I read, right? I'm asking you now, as one of the central characters, if you could shed light on it for me, please. Thanks very much.
He said, thanks very much.
In other words, I'm trying to tell you, you had to tell me. Don't try to dance out of this.
I am very good at dancing.
Yeah, I stop in the music. I stop in the music.
You just said that from your point of view, it looked like the technical staff worked against him to get him out.
At certain members of the technical staff.
Based on orders.
Because I read where you, John Michael, said that you were not injured. Yes.
I am still in shock as to what took place. I am still in shock. Like, we spoke about that recently. I was like, I don't have any clue where that came from, what it is about. In football, there's a difference between being injured and being hurt. Do you know that?
Yeah.
No,
many players play hurt. Football, many players play hurt throughout their career.
Everybody does play hurt. From the time you started playing professional football, you always have that pain.
You're never 100%. You're never 100. You're never feeling 100. Few days.
So again, I still try to look back and understand what it is about. And it was above me. It was beyond anybody else's control. Some people, I like the fact that you say it looked like it came from outside and it came into the technical staff, which is probably what happened, which is definitely what happened. What I was sad about the most is that two of the people directly involved, I had a decent relationship with them, one more than the other. The situation with the doctor, though, I'm a very honest and open person. So when I got my shoulder injury, my right shoulder injury, in the semi-final of the Caribbean tournament with Central FC in Jamaica, as soon as I went into the dressing room, we had World Cup qualifiers coming up after. I phoned the head coach, Stephen Hart, and I was like, hey, coach, I now do my shoulder here, and this ain't feeling good at all. So I know you're supposed to select the squad recently. I ain't feel I will be involved in that squad. Fact, tell him that. Right? As soon as I get the injury, we ain't go by the doctor, the hospital, nothing. I know my body. So as soon as I went into the collision, I came off in the game. I was like, halftime, I was like, nah, boy, this is not feeling right. Went to do treatment with Dr. Barbara for 3 months. He said you don't require surgery. With doing his assessment, I didn't do a scan. His assessment, wherever you don't require surgery, we do some PCR, PCP, platelet, something, PCP. I can't remember what it is, PCP, I think. Where they take your blood out, they put it in a machine, they do something.
Centrifuge, yeah.
And then they re-inject it back into it.
Yeah.
I did that for 3 months. After 3 months, I still wasn't able to move my shoulder like this. My shoulder could move, right shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Ended up meeting a guy through Central FC who recommended a doctor from what's the name of the hospital? St. Augustine. What's the name of the hospital? St. Augustine?
Augustine Private.
St. Augustine Private, yeah. That's on the main road, right? On the left.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So ended up meeting a doctor there. Dr. What was his name? Wow, my brain just went there. Dr. Mumbai or something. Can't remember. Anyway, boom, did some scans. He's like, this definitely requires surgery. That platelet thing he was doing, you just waste 3 months. Did the surgery, and I went to the Elite Athlete Development, EADP, in the Hazy Crawford Stadium, where the elite athletes used to do their training and recovery. Met up with Dr. Gomez and Tobias Otley and Orlando. Was it Orlando's last name? Griffith? Orlando did therapy there for 6 weeks. And I was able to come back into the game. The first game I played then was the second half of the opening, which was the Charity Shield or something. We played against Defense Force. Played the second half and we won the game. So I started to play from there. I think after 6 weeks or like it could be 8 weeks after the surgery. Can't be more than 2 months. So that was that. That was my right shoulder.
Right.
We go to play Paisley Crawford Stadium. We go to play, I think, later that year, which would have been November. So I started back playing, I think, in September, October, or September, I think, September. So November now, we had 2 games. One in Paisley Crawford against Costa Rica, and then the second one away against Honduras. Yes, yes, yes. In the warm-up, just before the end of the warm-up for the Guatemala, for the Costa Rica game, I think we lost 2-0 or 2-1 or something like that.
Yeah.
Costa Rica, 2-0 in the
2-0.
stadium.
In the stadium. Somebody scored in the last minute, but Bolaños scored
The
in the
same
last
fella
minute.
who was playing with the band
Yes.
coming off for your right back.
Right. Dove to make a save off a Joven Jones in the warm-up and felt something in my shoulder. Went straight into the dressing room, went straight by the doctor. Doc.
Left shoulder, folks. Not
Left
the
shoulder,
same shoulder.
right?
Not the
Yes.
same shoulder.
Not the same. So this is perfect right now. Went into the dressing room, went straight by the doctor. Doc, I just overstretched. I feel a dread pain, but you know what is this? He does the same thing. He's like, this not feeling good. It's feeling bad now. I said, but doc, I have mobility and thing, and as I warm, I feel like okay. If I'm not okay, I'll lay all, Just give my painkiller like a cataflam or something. Came on one, took it, boom, play the game, no problem. No problem at all. The next day, I ended up staying back late in that Costa Rica game because I get called for random drug testing, myself and Joel Campbell from Costa Rica. So we was in there, we lime and thing, you had to wait. I take a very long time. Probably about 2 hours. Could be more than 2 hours. I waited back, but the hotel was just across Marriott. So when I went back, finally, we do a little thing, wherever movement, it was good. Sleep the night, wake up the next morning, my shoulder couldn't move, right? But like I told the doctor, it didn't feel like when I did this one, because when I did this one, I felt it immediately, like I knew something was wrong. But this one just felt really sore. So right after that, shop up with ice, wherever. Went over to Honduras, day before the game, training session. Take 2 painkillers. I train like normal. Doc, you feeling pain? I was like, yeah, doc, I have a little bit of pain, but my mobility and my range is normal. So I could function through the pain, but it's not stopping my mobility and my range. If it was stopping mobility and my range, then I couldn't save at all because I have to use my hands, of course, right? Game day, come down, same thing, testing. John is feeling bad enough. I was like, my range and my mobility is perfect. Right? I was like, good, don't worry. Go play the game. I watched that save a million times. That's something I would always do. Because of how he went across, I didn't have time to go with my 2 hands. But if you look at the play, if you go online now and you look at the play, the ball, even though he made contact with my face and my head went down, I still had possession of the ball. If you understand what I mean. So it's a play that I custom making. Sometimes somebody faster than you. I think it was Ellis. It was Ellis, Albert Ellis. Lightning quick. So he already beat me for pace. So I couldn't go with 2 hands. So I had to go with 1 hand. And I scooped the ball in and again, boom, it my face and went down. Right. So wherever, wake up, hospital, blah, blah, blah. Next day, the doctor and the physiotherapist having a conversation by themselves outside of the group, which is the technical staff. I noticed some things, and I like that kind of strange. Get back home now, then I hear I wasn't supposed to play, I was injured, and they risked my life. And so I called the doctor, no answer. I called the physiotherapist, no answer. Then the story break, and then there was this big shambles and back and forth. So myself, I talking to the head coach, I talking to the goalkeeping coach. I was like, oh, I was all right. Look, I'm all right now. My shoulder normal. How I was injured then? No, normal now. My shoulder never gave him a problem since. So up to this day, we still confused as to what that was, you know. We honestly don't know what triggered them to do that. And obviously, or clearly, as you say, I didn't know that. Probably you know better than me. Something came from outside and got into some members of the staff, and that's what it was. Because
I just want. Go ahead. Sorry.
I even heard a doctor and a physio talking about other players need chance to play, and they only focusing on a certain set of players. And my question was, since when are doctor and a physio responsible for fucking picking a team? That was my question. My question was, since when is a doctor and a physio responsible for team selection? That was baffling to me. Now, for whatever reason, if they thought maybe I was playing too much, probably because I was fucking playing well. Sorry for my language. Probably because I was playing well. And they said, well, maybe we have to keep this guy because he's doing well. No, I don't think I was in that period where I was playing badly. You know what I mean? So then, I don't know how I became the center of that issue. I don't know why they used that issue where it could have gone south, where I've seen people with less or less severe collisions than that end up in a worse shape. I don't know why they used that situation to get whatever point they was trying to get across. That was very disheartening for me. Because as I say, I had a really good relationship with both of them. I had a decent relationship with both of them. The physio more than the doctor, but the doctor still. Sorry. So up to this day, I don't know what I was. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't have an answer for you. I could tell you that I was not injured. I was hurt, yeah. Could I function? Yes. Could I function as 100%? Yes. So was I in pain? Yes. But
well, it had a number of things, as I said, as somebody sitting on the outside reading. I read things from all angles and looking and listening, and even the events just after, it paint a particular picture for me. And again, it feeds into there's an agenda other than the football. Yeah. Our national football, there's an agenda other than us being as good as we could be. And this continues to this day. This continues to this day with our football. So it's sad because not talking about who's a better coach and whatever. I just think that team under Hart had a particular it had a particular freshness to it, a honesty to it, a roll up your sleeves and work, kind of vibe to it that with a sprinkling of flair and thing that is us. That is how I envision our football to be. And I was happy with it. And then to see that if Coach Hart was failing, this job with coaching, once you start to fail, it is the bosses and them right to cut your neck. It is their right, and that's part and parcel of being a coach. You expect that, but to lose a job when that is not, to me, the central issue and the central thing that was going on, that is where I was very disappointed with the whole thing. Anyway, John, it was nice talking to you. I mean, best of luck. You're a guy I admired as how you carried yourself as a professional. And I wish you all the best in this transition you made from player to coach. And you're a thinking guy. You're a thinking guy. That's some things that you said that tells me already you're on the right path. So best of luck. And that we don't start off the conversation like how we started it off. I ain't letting Trinidad know how we start off, but we don't go back down that road again. You come and you address the situation nicely in the middle of the chat, and I appreciate that. Don't do that again.
I like how, despite everything else, John still understands the importance of growth, because we're all growing. And I know that eventually he will come to understand.
Listen,
He'll come to appreciate certain fantastic, but anyway, yeah.
I don't know how this is just my life curse. I just end up in the middle of people.
yeah, John, stay out of this. Stay out of this.
Wow. Wow.
That's the Burdie, Burdie and the Barney.
Yeah, brother. It was nice. It was nice.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
All right, take care. Yeah.
Wow. Have a good one, guys.
All right, John.
Yeah, best of luck in the game, man, and best of luck in the season. Tell Hart to say best of luck as well. That's my coach. That's my
Nice,
coach, man.
Same to you.
He don't take one, but that's my coach.
This is Burdie.
And this is Barney.
I'm real.
Yeah, I'm gonna rustle up something there. You know, I'll change hats here and move from, you know,
Yeah, you
podcast host to cook it to morale shift to coach. I do these things seamlessly. You know, it's just from one competency to the other. Seamless.
I hope you're good at one of them.
That's the thing. That's the thing, bro. That's the thing. Well, right now, as the league suspended, I'm looking like if I'm good at one,
Amongst the stars, they take the too far. Well, so when I jump or when I wave, people like it on the Congo misbehave. People like it with the people what they want. People like it, tell them all them. People like it on the crew down in the back. People like it from the time you hear the track. People like it when you're on up in the yard. People like it cause you